Yo, what's up, people? I'd like to give a shout out to my new and my old subscribers. You guys go and check out Nias and Ignorant Intellect. Those two guys are trying to build their channel. They have good material. Shout outs to Mr. Lemba, Roger Spice, Kid Organic, all you guys, Black Cherubim, Sister Jinx, Straight Shooter, all you guys. Our business, I see you, bro. GW3 Extreme, yeah. If I don't mention your name, some other time when I remember, I'll shout you out. You see this word here, complain? Let's look at the meaning. The verb. It says express dissatisfaction or annoyance about a state of affairs or an event. You heard that? To express. Okay. Example is local authorities complain that they lack sufficient resources. Doesn't sound like it's a bad thing. It doesn't really sound like they're whining or, just being a nuisance. They're just stating or expressing something that happened, the lack thereof. Now let's continue. State that one is suffering from a pain or other symptom of illness. For example, her husband began to complain of headaches. Well, as it says here, to state that one is suffering, so it's not that the guy was crying and whining and complaining and just being a total kid. He's airing out his grievance. He's saying, hey, or he's stating actually that, or he's telling his wife, hey, I have a headache. Last but not least, state a grievance. They complain to the French government. Now, let me use my own example. It's just like, let's say your kid ran into the house, right? And they left the door open. And you say, hey, Ray, let's say your son's name is Ray. Hey, Ray, you left the door open. That's not really like you're being an asshole or you're being weak, stuff like that. You complain that the door was left open, but you're actually telling your son that, hey, Ray, you left the door open. You're stating to Ray that, Ray, you left the door open. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I was on a Google Hangout with Obsidian, and also I was listening to this guy, what's his name? Alan Roger Curry. And on the live Hangout, there was this guy called Super Sly. I think it's Super Sly is his name, or Superfly. Super Sly, I think it's Super Sly. And Super Sly was saying that, these guys are complaining and they don't offer solutions, they just complain. Alan Roger Curry says the same thing, but they make it seem like it's a bad thing. Like, people like to use the word complain as if it's a bad thing. I just read the meaning to you guys. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, some people might go over the top or to the extreme and just whine and bitch and moan all the time, but for the most part, I don't think a lot of guys are whining and bitching and moaning like little girls. Some of them on YouTube are, and in reality, because these are real people on YouTube. So YouTube is real. What you see on YouTube is really an insight to what's really going on. in certain communities and in the world, because these are not robots on YouTube. Now, my issue with that is that a lot of things are happening to men, and people like to shut us up. Females like to shut up men on a whole, regardless of race. But when it comes to the black men, everybody wants to shut us up, including females and men who are not black men, and also some men who are black men. Namely, the black men who want to impress these females. Now, a lot of guys have had experiences, not so good experiences with females, and nobody wants to listen to them because people don't regard the feelings of men. I've gone through it myself, where I've felt like, okay, nobody wants to listen. My mother doesn't listen. My sister doesn't. Like, people just do shit to you and expect you to just not say anything because they see you as a robot. You have no feelings. You know, I've heard many times, man up. You know, real men do this, real men don't do that. You know, just take it. You know, and I've always heard from people, you know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I'm going to do a video about that. There's a lot of sayings out there that I think don't make any sense. And one of them is 2 wrongs don't make it right. Now, like I said before, a lot of guys have had bad experiences, not only with females, but even with guys, you know, and everybody wants to muzzle us. We should shut up, suck it up, remain silent. But the thing is, a lot of guys, you know, they're suffering on the inside, and they're suffering in silence because they've been beaten down and downtrodden so much and told to shut up. So they keep everything inside, and they bottle everything inside and hold all that energy inside, and they just suffer. And that's why you have a lot of these mass shootings, because a lot of people feel alone in this world. They feel like nobody wants to listen to them. They don't have an outlet. And here we have YouTube, where a lot of guys have found solace in YouTube because now they connect with other guys, you know, guys who will listen to them. And not only that, but a lot of these guys are learning from the experience of other guys. But people want us to shut up. And the reason they want us to shut up is because when you air your grievances, you're actually teaching somebody else. Somebody else who might have felt as if they're alone in the world and nobody else is going through what they're going through. Now when they hear you talk about your experience, they're like, oh, okay, I'm not the only person who went through this. Maybe I can learn from your experience and your mistakes. But the thing is, a lot of people are getting wiser and they're learning from other people. And eyes are being opened. And you have some people who don't like that. Namely, dating coaches. They don't like when your eyes are being opened because it takes money from out their pockets. Okay? And the simps definitely don't like it. Now, I say, stop telling people who are not complaining in a bad way to stop complaining. Because these guys are not really complaining in a terrible way. I just read the definition to you. These guys are just airing their grievances. They're just stating what happened to them in life. And they're telling these women, hey, listen, I have a headache. I have a headache because you did this. That's not complaining in a bad way. I'm just telling you I have a headache. You want to see the meaning again? Let's look at this one. To state that one is suffering from a pain or other symptom of illnesses or illness. Her husband began to complain of headaches. So let's remove complain and put state. Her husband began to state. Well, that doesn't sound right. But you get what I'm trying to say. He's stating to his wife that he has a headache. So these black men on YouTube are stating to black women that, hey, you're wearing too much weaves. It doesn't look good on you. It perpetuates self-hate. They're stating to black women, or some black women, that, hey, you know, you don't have to be that fat. It's unhealthy for you and it really doesn't look good. You know, have some pride in yourself. They're stating to these women, it's not necessarily complaining in a bad way. They're just telling them, hey, you know, it's just like you have some women, they'll tell some men, you know, to do better. It's not that these women are complaining in the worst sense of the word, complaining. You get what I'm saying? So I would really appreciate it if some of you guys just stop beating down these guys and talk about their complaining, because they're not whining and complaining. Some of them are, don't get me wrong. But you have to be able to be smart to decipher who is just bitching and moaning from who's just shedding light on circumstances, and they're trying to get answers, or they're shedding light on a circumstance while they're providing answers and solution. You know, come on guys, we got to stop this bullshit. We're here to teach each other and learn from each other. You know, I know the Sims are not gonna understand this because the Sims are idiots, but it is what it is. But brothers, don't feel downtrodden. You know, just say what you have to say. You don't have to bitch and moan about it, but complain in this sense that I just explained to you guys. This is the meaning, in that sense, not the bitching and moaning sense, but complain to one another so you can edify each other, so you can teach each other and learn from each other. You know, no man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man is my brother, each man is my friend. We used to sing that in elementary school when I was back home in Jamaica. Let's not be forced to be islands, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to force us to shut up, to let you feel as if you're alone in this world and nobody cares about you and stuff like that. Don't let them push you in a corner. Don't do it. I'm out.